Yeah, and I don't think I don't want to sound too facetious, but of course the best way to avoid degradation in electrolyzer is not to use it. And but of course we do want to use them, otherwise we're not going to produce any hydrogen. So that's a really critical point. But in terms of trying to optimize this as far as we go, then we've got to think about it at different levels and at different mechanisms. So you just think about the PEM system, and we're seeing a lot more academic focus in this area as well, which is interesting. But we can have chemical and electrochemical corrosion, which can lead to things like higher cell voltage because we can corrode the titanium components that sit inside the cell. They can become more resistive over time if they're not properly protected. And voltage rise, as we just illustrated, means cost of production go up. So that means the cost of the hydrogen that's then going to be sold has to be sold at a higher level. There can be some chemical features, processes which take place inside the electrolyzer, such as hydrogen embrittlement. Titanium is known to have suffer from hydrogen embrittlement if it's not looked after properly. And that can ultimately lead to mechanical failure. So you can have cell voltage problems which give you, degrade over time. You can have some catastrophic failure as well. So if a titanium component, cell separator, for instance, fails, then you'll end up with quite a high hydrogen oxygen, which could lead you to take that stack out of service. So we are generally we make catalysts, but most of our work has been around the corrosion understanding of the titanium components. But in the catalyst space, of course, there is fundamental wear as you use iridium oxide and platinum. And then poisoning can be a critical feature as well. And then there's some things which, are not chemical, which is really, really important, but, isn't going to win anybody a Nobel Prize. But let's make sure the porous transport layers have not got any really pointy, spiky bits on that punch in the membrane and then cause that cell to fail and the stack to have to be replaced. So there's some really straightforward things that you have to think about. So physical, chemical, electrochemical, and operational issues can lead to these sort of degradation things happening. But at a more fundamental level, as I say, things like hydrogen embrittlement has to be managed. The membranes do degrade, which put fluoride into the process water because it's on a recycled loop generally. And titanium, again, can be corroded by the presence of fluoride. So again, that has to be managed. The right materials have to be chosen. And fundamentally, if you just leave titanium operating at these sorts of conditions, it will oxidize, and the current the resistance will increase, and cell voltage will increase as well. So again, through materials choice, through coatings, through material selection, you can minimize many of these things, and then through careful operation of the electrolyzer system, you can minimize them again as well.